So in every industry, you have these sort of cycles of big innovations coming out. Things change, or there's a groundbreaking safety innovation, something like that. It happens every so often. In aviation, we have certainly our own cadence of when certain innovations in certain corners of the industry happen.
Evansville approach, Skyhawk 80991. We'd like to start with the RNAV 22 into Evansville. Full procedure starting at Holon, and then on the go, we'd like to set up for the VOR 18 into Owensboro.
November 9901 for 1004 to Holon. Expect clearance here in about 15 miles.
Alright, we'll expect that direct Holon now, 80991. Thanks.
Today is the day that GARMIN Pilot is releasing the most incredible update that we have seen in a long time. It is going to be the biggest game changer in the way that we understand, brief, compartmentalize, and fly everything in the instrument realm.
I'm Josh, a flight instructor and a filmmaker with a passion for the sky, sharing it with those around me and using it to see our world from a new perspective. Flying can seem super complex, and I've made it my mission to showcase safe practices while sharing the beauty we behold on these adventures. This is Aviation 101.
0991, Addison Ground, clear to Hotel Yankee India Airport via on departure flight, runway heading, expect radar vector 604.
We begin this video in Western Kentucky with November 80991. And today is the day we'll see IFR procedures and cockpit data management change on all of our flight decks. On a side note, we've gotten so many comments lately asking for a continuation of our Sling build series. Let me catch you up. We released week 1 and 2 build videos on YouTube almost real time. We'd spend a full week building at the airplane factory each day, dump and organize footage at night, and then I'd spend the entire weekend editing that week's build video. I did that for 2 weekends in a row. We have since filmed weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6 of our Sling TSI build, as well as a week-long trip to Italy in the middle to attend a friend's wedding and fly a seaplane on Lake Como in the Italian Alps. Needless to say, we got insanely busy after build week 2. So I appreciate your patience in my effort to get these videos edited and published for the Aviation 101 YouTube channel. Today, on the other hand, GARMIN has dropped the biggest update to the GARMIN Pilot app I've ever seen. And this new workflow is going to change how we brief and fly IFR procedures across the industry from this point forward.
For ages, we've known about this concept of instrument approach plates and star charts, departure procedures, ODPs, airport diagrams. All of these are like either FAA publications, Jeppesen publications, whatever it may be. They are like a single page chart that has all of this information crammed into one page. Maybe you flip it and there's a second page because there's so much information. Because you have to be able to brief these procedures for every scenario, every direction of flight, coming into the airport, coming into the arrival, whatever it is, GARMIN has released a revolutionary update to GARMIN Pilot that incorporates a feature called Smart Charts. If you think about loading like an arrival procedure into your avionics, for example, we have a GTN 750 in this airplane. When you load your procedure, you choose basically an entry point, like you choose the on-ramp where you're gonna get onto this procedure, and if it's a departure procedure, you choose the off-ramp where then you transition to the en route phase. You load an instrument approach, you select your initial approach fix, or are you selecting vectors to final? When we have our approach plates, on paper of course, or up until this point on an iPad, you have to brief an approach plate that has all of the information pertaining to every possible scenario. But now, GARMIN has taken the concept that we understand from avionics, and that is you choose the route that you're gonna take, or the route that you've filed, or the route that you've been cleared, and it's only gonna show you on the avionics, it's only going to load the waypoints and the routes and the procedure relevant to what you're going to do. Now, GARMIN Pilot does that too with Smart Charts. It's all the same data. The data comes from the same navigation database that all of the IFR navigators get all of their information from. But GARMIN Pilot is taking all of that information, and when you go to the airports tab and you select procedures, charts, there are so many new features there now that are absolutely going to revolutionize how we fly on instruments, how we file flight plans, how we plan the entire flight, and how we actually execute the flight in the airplane with the help of an iPad app so powerful as GARMIN Pilot. So we're gonna go try that out today in 80991.
Brakes are good, and we're going to check the flight instruments on the taxi, pre-taxi checklist complete. We'll mind our collision avoidance and runway incursion avoidance, and we're going to back taxi runway 21. I don't see anybody using runway 3. We're going to check runway 21 before we taxi on. Abort plan, if we're not airborne and climbing by the 1,000-foot markers, something's fishy. If we're not absolutely climbing by that midfield taxiway, something is absolutely wrong. We're going to reduce the power to idle, apply braking, and come to a stop on the runway. If anything happens after that off this runway, there's kind of a no man's land period where we don't really have an option to land, and then we have the golf course immediately to our right for a couple of seconds as an option, and then a couple of seconds after that, the interstate is our option. Ohio County traffic, Skyhawk 809901, departing runway 21 will be left traffic to depart northwest, Ohio County. Alright, windows, mixture, strobes and landing lights on. You know what, just for the heck of it, I think we're going to do a short field takeoff. Flap set 10. We're going to pretend like we're minimizing our ground run here. Runway 21. You strapped in, ready to go?
Ready.
Alright, here we go. Short field takeoff. Takeoff power set. Off the brakes. We're going to hold it on the ground until we reach about 60 knots. And then we're going to assertively pull it up into a VX climb. There's 50 knots. Engine feels great. Here's 60 knots. Pitch up, 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 up. We're going for VX. We've cleared the 50-foot obstacle. Let the airplane accelerate. Out of ground effect, flaps up.
New T-hangers look beautiful.
Yeah, they do.
When it was described, and Josh and I were talking about it, and we were talking with the GARMIN people, and they were telling us what this was gonna be, I couldn't wrap my brain around it because it was just like, why hasn't this been done before? And I am so proud to work with GARMIN, and Josh and I have a wonderful relationship with them, and it is just so exciting when you think about what this is going to do for the industry and what it is going to provide for our flying in real world applications.
Ohio County traffic, Skyhawk 809901, crossing over midfield, northwest bound, climbing through 2,100, departing the area, Ohio County. Alright, we're crossing 3,000 feet. We're already on Evansville. It's probably a quiet morning up there anyways. Good morning, Evansville approach. Skyhawk November 809901, off Ohio County, Kentucky, with a VFR request.
Kentucky 09901, Evansville approach, good morning, stand by 1.
I used to reply to something like that and say, standing by, 9901. And then I realized how silly that was.
By safe.
Skyhawk 809901, that's the request.
Yeah, Evansville 809901, we're type Cessna 172. We just departed Ohio County, Kentucky, Juliet, Quebec, Delta. We'd like to proceed into Evansville Airport for a practice instrument approach, and then we'll depart the area back to the southeast and do an approach at Owensboro.
Skyhawk 9901, Roger, squawk 0376.
0376, 9901.
Skyhawk 9901, radar contact about 15 miles southeast Owensboro Airport, Evansville, altimeter 3030. Maintain VFR and say approach request at Evansville and just verify information Tango is current. Just let me know when you have that actually.
Alright, altimeter 3030, we're leveling off 4,500 now. We'll go ahead and get Tango and then we'll let you know our approach request if that's alright.
Roger.
Alright, one thing at a time. I'm going to go ahead and level off the airplane. One smooth motion, let the nose come down as I reduce power. We got a 15 knot wind up here and some mechanical turbulence.
Charlie Alpha, contact message center 133.85.
Alright, I'm going to give this button autopilot on. While we're here, I would like to log these approaches, if you don't mind being.
Of course.
Good afternoon, level 14,000.
Passenger Princess, safety pilot. Safety pilot Princess. See what the wind is, what they're doing here.
But you can be looking at the ones that apply to you now to pick, right?
Tango 1554 Zulu, wind 200 at 7, visibility 10, sky clear below 12,000, temperature 12, dew point 0, altimeter 3030. Visual approaches to converging runways in use, flying departing runway 22 and runway 18. Use launch for birds on the vicinity of Evansville Airport. Notice airman. Pocket City TAC and Azimuth out of service. All Evansville departures, contact claims delivery 126.6 prior to taxi. All VFR departures advise of finish on course heading in degrees and request to cruise altitude. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise of finish contact information tango.
15U and Henderson Airport. Keep the code and report on the go.
All right, we have information tango. Okay, so here's the original flight charts, just the charts page on Garmin Pilot. And these are the FAA flight charts here, but I can switch this little drop down to smart charts. And here's all the approach procedures as smart charts, and I can hit show with minima, and it will actually show them to me based on their minimums for my category of aircraft, which is freaking cool.
November 182 Juliet Bravo.
And I can even sort based on height, so I can have it show me, it's already shown it to me, I can have it show me, start with the lowest approach, like what's the lowest approach, just sort it. Okay, so the RNAV 22 is actually a T-fix. It has those waypoints right there, so this is a perfect example. So
Okay.
let's request the RNAV 22.
And she also wants to know what you want on the go.
Bingo. Okay, so there's a NOTAM right here on Smart Charts that says glide path unusable for the ILS 36 into Owensboro. But let me see what like the VOR 18 looks like.
Baron 53 Romeo Tango Evansville.
Yeah, we can do the VOR 18.
3030.
So I want to tell her where we want to start the RNAV 22. We want to do it from Holland. Evansville approach, Skyhawk 80991.
Skyhawk 991, go ahead, sir.
80991, we're ready with our approach request. We'd like to start with the RNAV 22 into Evansville. Full procedure starting at Holland. And then on the go, we'd like to set up for the VOR 18 into Owensboro.
November 991, roger, and you have information tango now.
Sorry, yes, we do have information tango.
That's alright, November 991, proceed of course to Holland, expect clearance here in about 15 miles.
Alright, we'll expect that direct Holland now, 80991, thanks. Okay, procedure, select approach. We're on Evansville, we're going to the RNAV 22.
And matter of fact, here, Tango
Holland.
Echo, traffic 11 o'clock, 1 mile.
We're cleared direct Holland, so we can load and activate.
Medevac Cruiser Tango Echo looking now.
And the Medevac 0, Tango Echo, turn right heading 360, just effective for that traffic. It'll be off your left side.
We have the waypoints right there on the chart, or on the sectional, right? Or we can just go to the plain old VFR map, which is nice looking. We can take it out of night mode. So when we go to airports, we'll go to charts. We're doing the RNAV 22.
And it's got all of that information, which is irrelevant to us.
Right. So, starting with this, what kind of minimums do we want? We're category A. Based on the type of equipment that we have, this is a WAAS-equipped airplane, so we can shoot the LPV approach. We will have GPS augmented vertical guidance. So, we can go with the LPV minimums. Are you using an uncompressed or uncompensated barrel VNAV system, and is the temperature below 15C or above 54C? No. Are the lights working? Yes. Is it day or night? It's day. Using autopilot or flight director or HUD to decision altitude? Yes, we can use autopilot or a flight director down to the decision altitude.
So just click some real quick while we have these 15 miles to burn.
That's a good idea.
And show.
So let's say we're using an uncompensated Barrow VNAV system and we're in that temperature range, we'd hit yes. Now the LNAV VNAV approach is not authorized. Let's say the approach lights are in-op. That just changed our minimums. Let's say we're doing this at night. Oh, okay. Circling not authorized to runway 9. Let's say that we aren't using AP or flight director or a HUD to decision altitude. That changed our RVR just a little bit on the LPV approach.
That's incredible.
So you can say, yes, we're outside of the temp range, the approach lights are working, but we're doing this at night, and we don't have an autopilot. Boom. It just set up all of your minimums for you. You don't have to...
Like sort through and remember and go back and...
To highlight some perspective here, this nifty little button in the right-hand corner, top right corner, on the fly will flip you to the original approach plate, if that makes you more comfortable to back it up. So we'll hit that, it takes us to the approach plate.
we got to read through this paragraph up top and like jot things down and oh crap, okay, let's
And you're in the clouds and you might be flying a much faster aircraft. Things are happening quicker. Super busy, congested airspace.
Okay,
and you're like mentally through this.
Trying to figure this out.
What the outside temperature is?
Yeah. So we don't have to like go hunting for NOTAMs. We would have already pulled the NOTAMs for this flight and everything. But we don't have to go hunting for those specific little like, okay, well, is it an op?
3 Romeo Tango Roger, expect higher here in about.
So now that we have our minimum set, category A, and it says it all right here, just at the top. You don't have to go to the bottom of the plate to remind yourself. Category A, our decision altitude is 622, so I'm going to put that in minimum, baro minimum, 622. So now the avionics will say minimum. We have our RVR right there at the top, and then visibility, for the minimum visibility for this approach is half mile. Okay, we're doing the Holon transition, so let's select Holon, boom, it just got rid of everything else. We don't need to see that. Got rid of everything else. We can even get rid of the glide path portion. There's our little airplane.
Uh-huh.
And our airplane will eventually show up on the glide path as well. Okay, so now we can switch back over to the approach plate. Ah, complicated, gross. Ah.
That's yeah.
And of course, if you're in night mode, where's my night mode button? There it is at the top. It goes all black.
Yeah.
So that it's just kind of like aesthetically pleasing to look at. All right. So with all of this stuff pulled up, let's just
991 after completion of your RNAV runway 22. Missed approach instructions. Turn left heading 160. Maintain 2,500 VFR.
Left to 160, 2,500 VFR on the mist, 80991.
Okay, so let's brief this approach. Super easy, we can hit details, and there's all the details of the approach, everything all at once if you want to do it like that, or the whole name of the game of smart charts I've found is compartmentalizing. It's parsing down the information only that you need, so you're not looking at all this stuff on the original approach plate.
And the text is all so small, and you're trying to read and you're trying to check, and you're keeping your scan going and alive, and you're bouncing back and forth. And if you take a radio call and you're doing your scan and you're going back and forth, you're like, wait, where was I? Did I skip that? Did I hit that? And so of course, I'm sure if you're flying these all the time and people, you know, used to fly with way less than what we even have now, of course it is doable. But this is just so revolutionary, the way that it's like, you don't need that, it doesn't pertain to you, your aircraft, or your situation at the moment, and you don't have to do this whole back and forth, checking this, checking that.
Approach for track 273, level
it's just only what you need.
Compartmentalized. So let's brief it on that topic. We hit comms, there's just the comms we need. Okay, Evansville ATIS is 120.2, we've got it. There's Indianapolis Center or Evansville Approach. We're not going to talk to Center. We're not going that far out. 2402, we're talking to them. Tower, 18.7. 18.7 in the standby. And Evansville Ground, we'll deal with that once we're on the ground. We don't want to switch while we're in the air. Okay, we're done with comms. Done with that. Let's go to brief. This is a WAS approach, so we'll see magenta needles. We'll keep it at the CDI and GPS. Final approach course of 221 degrees. That will be auto-slewed by the avionics. We will intercept the glide path at 2,500 at Kuyar. Okay, that's all we need to know. Got it. Decision altitude is 622 with an RVR 24. 622 put in our baro minimums. Those are our approach lights. There's a visual depiction of it. That's on the approach plate too. Teeny tiny. Nice, big and bold in color too. There's our depiction of what the approach lights will look like when we pop out of the clouds. Our runway length and our touchdown zone elevation should be 422 feet. Okay, we're done with that section. What's the missed approach? Climb out to 2,500 to the Icenu, however you say that, intersection, and hold.
Skyhawk 991, VFR descent, your discretion. Just maintain VFR at or above 2,500.
At or above 2,500, we'll start the descent here in a handful of minutes. We'll let you know. 991.
So we briefed the mist.
But she gave us different mist instructions.
Yep. So our actual mist today doing this VFR is going to be left to 160, climb up to 2,500, maintain VFR.
If you're actually in IMC, they are not going to probably give you alternative mist, or would they?
It depends on what you're doing. If you're actually shooting the approach with the intention of making a full stop, in the event that you have to go mist, these are your instructions. If you're out doing practice approaches, they may give you a different climb out. Okay, so this approach is briefed. We can even, if it makes us feel better, we can just use that quick switch button up at the top right corner. We can brief it like we normally would. We're gonna hit Holem to Jizev and then come into Kuyar, and that's where we're gonna intercept at or above 2500 down to 622, climb straight out 2500 to the ICNU intersection, and we'll hold there. Garmin Smart Charts.
So this year already, Garmin's already been on this innovation train. About a month ago, they released Garmin Pilot Web, where you can actually access the Garmin Pilot application in a web version. It's amazing for flight planning, getting the big picture of weather, especially for someone like me. I have a big editing desk that has a big monitor, and it's so nice to throw the whole map up, especially when, like I'm about to do tomorrow, getting ready to plan for a 900 nautical mile cross country, getting the big picture. So Garmin Pilot Web was one of those innovations that they've already been working on, and that released about a month ago. And now, today, Garmin Smart Charts is coming out in the update that's gonna land right there on your iPad, iPhone, whatever you're using. We're gonna get 3 different types of approaches in. We're gonna go up to Evansville, Indiana. We're gonna shoot an approach into there, explore the features and how the approach looks on coming into Evansville, come down to Owensboro, Kentucky, shoot an approach there, go mist, come back into Ohio County here. It's gonna be an awesome day to fly and check out the newest innovation for us in general aviation in Garmin Pilot.
All right, we're clear for the RNAV 22. I'll go into the foggles probably once we cross Holland. Just so I can look at you for as long as I can. You're wearing green shirt, your eyes are a beautiful green, and your headset's green.
And your glasses are green.
We got a theme going on.
Left to 303 in 8 seconds. It reminds you to go ahead and visually sweep and cross-check that you have everything dialed in.
Make sure we're in the correct autopilot mode. Make sure it's actually going to do what it just said it was going to do. Starting the descent in about 3.5 minutes. Let's do this whole approach on autopilot.
Center,
Okay.
6 Kilo Whiskey, we're in the...
There was Holland. Get under the foggles. No peeping around.
Alright.
And November 8 Sierra Alpha, just talk to Louisville approach. They may not hear you at 3,500. Can you accept 5,500?
After having the thin flying eyes on, I gotta wedge these behemoth foggles under my headset.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sir, 8 Sierra Alpha, roger, no problem.
You are eyes out the window.
I sure am.
That's fine.
8 Sierra Alpha at 4,500.
7 Altimeter 3030, verify you have the weather and
That's 1 minute out from descent. Verify we're set for 2,500. We're cleared for the approach, so we can go lower, but we really don't need to. That's how low we're going. Initial altitude on the mist is also 2,500. Descent checklist. Seat tracks and backs upright and locked. Seatbelt, shoulder harnesses fastened. Fuel selector on both. Let's go ahead and pull the carb heat. Just check it for a second.
And November 991, are you going to start your descent now?
Yeah, we're going to start here in about 10 seconds.
All right, thank you.
VNAV is captured, and now we have a BOD, bottom of descent. So we're going to intercept 2,500 right at Jizev as the airplane's turning. And the autopilot's doing all of this. We're cleared for the approach, so I'm going to arm approach mode. I actually should have done that a while back.
November 3 Romeo Tango,
As soon as she
contact
cleared
Center
you.
1.
As soon as she cleared me, I should have done that. Let's get the ATIS.
Cruise altitude. Read back all hold short instructions.
Good day.
Finish contact. You have information.
November 8 Sierra Alpha, contact Louisville approach 123.67.
Over to 132.67 for 8 Sierra Alpha.
And
It's still Tango, so nothing has changed. Altimeter's still the same.
For 8 Sierra Alpha.
Altimeters are set. Instruments all look like they agree. Altitude target is at 2,500. Barrel minimum 622.
Approach stationary November 786.
Mixture, give it in just a little bit. Descent checklist complete. So again, this is what it would look like doing it on the regular approach plate. But so much of that data we don't need. That's where Smart Charts comes in to compartmentalize. Once we're on the final approach path, we're going to see the plane show up on the little profile. We can also hide the profile if we really don't want it. 3, 2, 1. Start the turn, and halfway through this turn, the airplane's going to level off. We're cleared for the approach. We have Evansville Tower in the standby. We're briefed. We're done. Let's do the pre-landing.
991, contact tower 118.7, talk to you on the go.
18.7, talk to you in a bit, 991. I guess I'll request the option, and you tell me if I see the runway or not. If I see the runway, I'll do a touch and go. If not, we'll go missed.
Okay.
All right. Evansville Tower, Skyhawk 80-991, inbound RNAV 22.
0991, Evansville Tower, runway 22, clear for the option, wind 2003.
Clear for the option, runway 22, 80-991. All right, pre-landing checklist, seatbelt, shoulder harnesses are fastened, brakes, pedal test, they're firm and even. All lights are on, barrel minimum set 622, mixture set best power. I'm not gonna set it quite yet, I'll set it when we do our gumps check. Carb heat, I'm gonna get that on when we do our gumps check. Fuel selector is on both. Flaps will be part of the gumps check, and then VREF will be 60 knots over the numbers if we're landing. Pre-landing checklist complete. 2 miles to Kuyar. We're watching for the glide path to start coming alive. That's when I'm going to start doing our slowdown and gumps check. Glide path's alive. Really cool to visualize that, seeing the airplane on the little profile there, and you can see the magenta glide path continuing above us. Alright, gas is on both, undercarriage is down and bolted. Mixture, I'm going to set it for landing. Power, I'm going to start to reduce it with carb heat. Straps, and flaps. We're waiting on the wide arc, and we're going to try and time that right about where we're intercepting the glide path. We're cleared for the option. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. Flap set 10 degrees, and that's what we're going to shoot the approach with. Glide slope is captured, or glide path is captured rather. And now my job is to maintain speed with throttle. About 500 feet to go till minimums. Trying to keep us in our speed range here. We've been a little fast this whole time. About 300 to go.
500.
500 AGL. We're cleared for the option. 200 to go.
Skyhawk 9901, use caution for 3 or 4 birds, midfield, runway 22, approximately 100 feet.
Raj. There's minimums, looking for the
You
runway.
see it.
Alright, I see the runway.
Minimums. Minimums.
Runway in sight, we're continuing. Flap set 20. Get power to idle. Do a side slip.
Evac foreground.
Really not much of a crosswind to speak of. Little wind.
Roger, do you need to get on the active or no?
Just hold it off in ground effect. Oh, my back.
Evac 4, Roger, thank you.
Flap's coming up. Flaps are up. Well, that was the RNAV 22 into Evansville.
Skyhawk 9901, turn left heading 180 and contact departure.
Left 180 to departure, 991 good day. Starting our left-hand turn. Evansville departure, Skyhawk 80-991, heading 180, 1,400 climbing.
Skyhawk 8009, or correction, 80-991, Evansville, approach ident, Evansville altimeter 3030.
3030, ident, 991.
And November 991, is this a full stop at Owensboro?
Negative, it'll be the option just like we did here, and then we'll be heading to the southeast after that.
Okay, are you going back to Ohio County, or do you want flight following on the go?
Yeah, it'll be back to Ohio County, 991, and we won't need flight following, it'll be a short flight.
All right, sounds good, thanks.
We're on to Owensboro, Kentucky to fly the VOR 18 approach with GARMIN Smart Charts. But I want to mention that Smart Charts are a game changer for other procedures beyond approaches. Take a complicated terminal departure procedure or a complicated arrival. Loading it into the avionics or FMS is one thing, but to effectively brief the procedure requires muddling through what ends up being a bunch of irrelevant minutia on a busy, crammed chart. With smart charts, the central theme is to compartmentalize. Parse your chart down to only the information, routes, speeds, and restrictions that matter to you and your flight. We as pilots have enough going on in the cockpit. Irrelevant information saturation is no longer a necessary evil in briefing and flying instrument procedures thanks to GARMIN Pilot. Of course, for myself as a general aviation flight instructor, instrument approaches are the most common of these procedures I use on real IFR flights. So next up, we're gonna fly the VOR 18 approach into Owensboro, Kentucky.
Let's brief up the VOR 18. We have smart charts enabled on GARMIN Pilot. I'm gonna hand fly this approach. I took it out of night mode here. We'll select minimums. We're a category A. We're doing our approach at usually 80 knots. So that's under 90.
Skyhawk 991, VFR descent, your discretion is maintain VFR at or above 2,500.
All right, at or above 2,500, we'll let you know when we're going to start down, 991.
All right, thank you.
And approach 80991. Will this be vectors for the VOR approach?
Affirmative.
Roger. Okay, so we're getting vectored for the VOR 18. Minimums, we're going to select category A. The VOR approach for 18, we're not doing a circling approach. Transition, we're getting vectored. So it gets rid of everything else. Do you see that? We'll select all. So it's got like, go to the VOR, procedure turn, all that kind of stuff, and it has the route from the VOR outbound, procedure turn, and then inbound and descent. We're getting vectors. So we select vectors. Boom, got rid of all that stuff. We don't need it. All right, let's brief it. Comms, 1902, switch over, that's Owensboro ATIS. And we're talking to 12402. Owensboro Tower is 20.7. Put that at standby. Brief. This is a VOR approach, so we need to see green needles. Let's go to green needles. 10865, 10865. Just for the hell of it, let's ID. That's it.
November 879 Foxtrot Zulu, student solo pilot.
That's it. Get back up to our altitude here.
0313.
Okay, MDA is 1120. We'll expect reels with PAPIs on the left. It's an 8,000 foot runway at 407 feet above sea level. And the mist. Straight out 2500, climbing right turn to the Owensboro VOR and hold. Alright, we're going to be at or above 2500. She said altitude at
991, try heading 120.
120 on the heading, 80991. We're going to start our VFR descent here in a couple minutes.
Skyhawk 991, roger, thanks.
Altimeter 3030.
November 6 Kilo Whiskey, contact Memphis Center 133.65.
County Airport.
3365.
Automated weather observation. 1640. Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition few 8,000. Temperature 13 Celsius. Dew point -05 Celsius. Altimeter 3030.
Skyhawk 991, 10 miles from the final approach fix, try heading 140, maintain 2,500 until established on the final approach course, clear VOR, runway 18 approach, Owensboro Airport.
Maintain 2,500 till established on the VOR course, turn right heading 140, and we're clear for the VOR 18809991.
And November 991, just want to confirm you do have the weather NOTAMs at Owensboro?
Affirm, 991.
Right, thanks.
Yeah, Owensboro has an AWAS, they don't have an ATIS. We're intercepting the VOR radial now. The inbound course of 176. I'm going to start to gently bring it to the right. We're flying this thing entirely by hand. We'll be handed off to tower here soon. Now that we're established, we can technically go down to our MDA of 1120.
Skyhawk 991, contact Owensboro Tower 120.7.
20.7, 991, good day.
Great.
Mist is 2,500, so I'm going to leave our altitude bug there. I'm going to start the descent. We're going to slowly go down to 1120, make sure we get there before 2.4 miles before the airport. That's the visual descent point. Owensboro Tower, Skyhawk 80991 has the weather inbound on the VOR 18, looking for the option.
Skyhawk 80991, Owensboro Tower, wind calm, altimeter 3030. Report 3 mile VOR final runway 18.
Report 3 mile VOR final runway 18, 80991. Altimeter is 3030. Wow, the Ohio River looks like glass. That just disoriented me for a second, seeing it.
You
like
thought you were inverted?
Like a mirror, yeah. Coming down to 1120. All right, gas, undercarriage, down at bolted mixture power, straps and flaps. We'll handle our flaps once we're down at MDA and we're getting close to the runway.
That way you're not dragging it in.
Right, yeah. On a step down approach like this. It's different when we're coming down on a glide path, but when it's, you know, pretty well guaranteed we're gonna have to level off. And in fact, we're arriving at our MDA way earlier than we really need to. So I can just really shallow up the descent here. 80901 is a 3-mile VOR, final runway 18.
Skyhawk 901, runway 18, cleared option, report missed approach.
Clear for the option, report the missed, 80901.
Minimums.
All right, we're at minimums. We're going to maintain this altitude. This is our minimum descent altitude.
And you want your buffer above it.
Yes. If anything, be slightly above it, but you don't want to go back up into the clouds.
Yeah, no.
And you don't want to go down before you can make a normal descent to the runway because you risk hitting an obstacle. All right, we have 2 miles to go before I need to make a decision. Add some power here, level off.
What do you think? Is he gonna see the runway?
Well, let's stay tuned and find out. Right after this commercial break. Sponsored by 1.4 miles. I'd be looking for the runway already. And if I was not out of the clouds yet, I would be concerned. Still don't see the airport. Holding it right at MDA. We're still in the clouds. I don't see the airport. Don't let it sink. Half a mile to go. But at this point, we're so far past our VDP. If I did see the airport, there's no way we'd be able to land. Although it is a long runway. All right, do I see the airport? Looking.
I don't think you see it. I think we need to get home. Take it back home.
80901 is going miss.
Skyhawk 901, roger, contact Evansville departure.
Over to departure, 991, thanks. See you later, Feta Pizza.
Oh, I wish we were going.
I know. Cram, climb, clean, click, communicate. Check, 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 check. Evansville approach, Skyhawk 80901 on the mist off Ohio County. Like to head over to Ohio County, on the mist off Owensboro. Like to head over to Ohio County Airport for the RNAV 21.
Skyhawk 901, Evansville departure ident, Evansville altimeter 3030.
3030 on the altimeter, there's the ident, 991.
Skyhawk 991, radar contact over the Owensboro Airport, maintain VFR on course.
VFR on course, 80901.
Skyhawk 991, practice approaches at the Ohio County Airport are approved, maintain VFR separation services are not provided.
991, roger, we'll maintain VFR. AJQD, dotty, we like to party.
Upjet 91, descend and maintain 2,500.
Descend and maintain 2,500, Upjet 91.
Alright, approved on course. Alright, we're direct to Ohio County Airport, but we're going to do the RNAV 21. JQD, RNAV 21. We're going to do Zucho. Let's load and activate the approach. We're going to start coming left. There's our altitude. I'll hand fly this one too.
You're gonna be on autopilot all day tomorrow.
I know, so I might as well get some hand flying. Hand flown approaches in. Alright, we're direct to Zucho. Let me get our chart set up and let's brief it.
Cherokee 87 Pop, Evansville departure radar contact.
JQD.
Altitude is at your discretion, advising you're back inbound.
RNAV 21. Alright, so we got some junk here that we can get rid of. Here's the original plate. Let's go to Smart Charts and parse this down. For a category A, we're going to select LPV minimums because we're WAS equipped. Is it day or night? It's daytime. Altimeter setting at the airport. We do have an altimeter setting coming from the AWAS. We're not in the temperature range. Are we a helicopter landing on runway 21?
Not today.
Not today.
We might be if the updrafts are bad enough.
I know. We'll see. Okay. Minimums are set. We're going direct to the Zucho intersection. Let's get our comms set up. Step 1. 132.1.
Traffic on Factor, Sky 879.
Talking to Evansville and 22.8. And the standby, that's CTAF. Comms are done. Let's brief it. Alright, this is going to be a WAS approach, so we're going to shoot this on magenta needles. We should see magenta needles the whole time. So we'll keep the CDI and GPS. Final approach course is going to be 207. That will be auto-slewed on the HSI by the avionics. We're going to intercept the glide path at or above 2200 at Dawsbow. Decision altitude is 787. Gosh, this is so easy to do this with just like boom, boom, boom. The approach lights are runway end identifier lights, those LED strobes at the end, and we have a PAPI on the left. Okay. And the missed approach is going to be straight out to 3,000 feet, so we can leave our altitude bug. We'll just do the parallel entry right here at 3,000 feet. And then we'll stay at 3,000 until we intercept the glide path and follow it on down. And then our initial altitude on the mist is 3,000 feet to the Vuswo intersection, then track 273 to Central City VOR and do a teardrop entry and hold. The RNAV GPS 21 at Ohio County is briefed with Garmin Smart Charts.
Hartford, Ohio County Airport.
Automated weather observation 1658 Zulu. Wind 210 at 5 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 14 Celsius. Dew point minus 6 Celsius. Altimeter
Skywest 3665, Evansville departure, radar contact. Climb maintain 13,000.
Wind is straight down the runway at 5 knots, so hopefully it won't be a wild ride. Evansville approach, Skyhawk 809901. How's the weather at Ohio County? Just to let you know, we are going to do the course reversal at Zucho here.
Skyhawk 9901, roger.
Alright, we're about to do a parallel holding entry here. Maintaining altitude, and we're basically just going to fly outbound
04.
1702 Zulu on the dot. I'm just going to watch the clock here go about 1 minute. And then we're going to do a standard rate left-hand turn, come back, intercept the course, and fly it inbound. This is classic instrument 101 maneuvers here. Parallel holding entry. We're just giving ourselves some room from Zucho to be able to make our turn back inbound. Alright, there's 1 minute. Let's go ahead and start our left-hand turn.
Uniform with 366, roger. And you said you want to do a touch and go. What do you want to do after that?
Anytime we come into any sort of a bank, we're taking away vertical lift from the airplane produced by the wings, and we're devoting it to the horizontal to carry us sideways. We need to either add a little power, add a little back pressure. Just doing a standard rate left-hand turn here at 3,000. We're going to use all this GPS tech to our advantage. We're going to put our ground pointer, or our ground track vector, slightly to the left of the bearing pointer that's pointing at Zucho to make sure that we intercept the course again before we get to Zucho. Alright, we're intercepting our final approach course, and we are half a mile from Zucho.
With 366, make straight in, runway 22.
Alright, we just crossed Zucho.
Okay, 20.3, 420 Alpha Zulu.
We must have some thermals today.
Niner 1, radar services are terminated. Squawk VFR, change to advisory frequency approved. See ya.
Squawk VFR over to advisory. Thanks for all the help. 9901. Alright, switch over to advisory. Let's do a pre-landing checklist. Seatbelt shuttle harnesses are fastened. Brakes pedal test. Still maintaining 3,000 here.
Cougar DZ,
lights on.
Sherpa 9, 2 minutes.
Barrel minimum set 787, which is correct.
Hunenberg traffic, Sky Highway 7.
Autopilot's off.
5 miles to the south.
Start to roll the mixture in. RP, not going to get it out quite yet. Fuel selector is on both. Flaps is going to be part of the GUMPS check, and VREF is 60 knots over the numbers. Pre-landing checklist complete. Ready for the GUMPS check. Glide path's alive. Got a little bit low there. Let's fix that. We're about a dot below the glide path. Maybe when we're about a half a dot, that's when I'm going to start slowing down here. Ohio County traffic, Skyhawk 809901 is 3,000 feet, about a 6 mile straight in runway at 21 will be a full stop. We're doing a practice instrument approach. Ohio County. Alright, here comes the glide path. We're slowing down. Carb heat, gas on both, undercarriage down and bolted, mixture is set where I want it. Power, reduced straps, and flaps. Flaps 10 degrees. About 75 to 80 is what I'm shooting for on this approach.
Henderson traffic,
Leaving it at 3,000 for the miss. We're about a 5-mile final and about 2,000 feet to go. A little bit of above glide path. We're on speed, so I can remove total energy from the equation by reducing throttle. Sometimes it's appropriate if we're high and slow or low and fast, we can just trade that energy. But if we're high and fast or low and slow, we have to add or subtract total energy with throttle. Come slightly to the left. Let's correct that course there. On glide path, on the approach path. Ohio County traffic, Skyhawk 809er1 is a 3-mile final, 2,000 feet, coming into a straight-in runway 21 on a practice instrument approach, Ohio County. A little high and a little fast, so I need to subtract total energy by reducing throttle.
Honeyberg traffic, Skyhawk 879 for Zulu, left downwind runway 9, Honeyberg.
Bardstown traffic, 0859 Juliet, left downwind 21, Bardstown.
Hawkeye traffic helicopter.
We're about 500 feet above minimums here.
Approximately 5 miles to the northeast, transitioning to the southwest, currently 1,600, Ohio County.
Ohio County traffic, Skyhawk 809er1 is on a 1-mile final, runway 21, Ohio County. Getting a little slow, we're on glide path, on approach path. There's the updraft. There, we just got a burst of energy. Power to idle. About 150 feet to go.
County RB9, 605 Alpha, 10,000
Minimums. Looking for the runway.
You see it.
All right, I see the runway. There you go. Beautiful runway. Power to idle. Let's go flaps 20. And how about flaps 30? Powers to idle, slight right crosswind. Here's a side slip. Here's the round out and the balloon. Slowly roll that crosswind and put in as we slow down. A little bit of a right crosswind. All right, logged 3 approaches with Garmin Smart Charts. It's really intuitive to use.
And when you do the back and forth comparison, I know that is a tool, but just flipping it back and forth is also like this stark reminder of how powerful the Garmin Smart Charts are.
How much it simplifies it.
And are you full stop?
Yes, sir. We're just a couple seconds from clearing the runway here.
Okay, we're stay south of the field, transition to the southwest.
Right. Ohio County traffic, Skyhawk 809er1 is clear of the runway, Ohio County. All right, let's do an after landing checklist.
I am a very rusty instrument pilot, so I imagine the next time that we go out and do an IPC and I get current again, we will be doing it with the Garmin Smart Charts. If you're already using Garmin Pilot, it will be in your update. If you are not using Garmin Pilot, welcome to the next generation of instrument flying. It was a perfect day to go out, spend some time flying into several different airports. We went to a Charlie, a Delta, and then here back to our home airport, pilot controlled field. So we got to really use the entire air traffic system and overlaying Garmin Smart Charts and our normal instrument procedures with the use of this new technology that is going to revolutionize the instrument flying system. If you haven't used Garmin Pilot yet, I made the switch and I absolutely love the app, and now it's just a no-brainer. And it's stuff that is like, as soon as you use it, you're like, why wasn't it already like this? Why wasn't it like this the whole time? It just makes so much sense. If you start flying, or when you start flying with these Garmin Smart Charts, because they are going to be everywhere, and student pilots are now going to be learning how to fly with these smart charts because it is going to change the industry and the way that we fly, you are going to feel the exact way that we did in the plane today.
I am so used to using the FAA approach plates over the years that, you see something familiar and it just feels natural. It's kind of that initial growing pain of changing over to something new that you have to learn about. But I'm telling you, that was so intuitive to figure out, especially being able to fill out all the data. What category of approach speed are we? What kind of minimums are we gonna go after? Is it LPV? Is it LNAV? Or are we doing the circling approach? It adjusts the minimums based on all that stuff, answer the questions, and it will change the minimums for the approach and the minimums that you selected. So there's no more reading those confusing remarks on the approach plate and trying to maybe jot stuff down, cross-check it with NOTAMs, all while you're trying to brief the instrument approach. Only give me what I need to see and fly, and that's exactly what Garmin Smart Charts has accomplished. Just like Chelsea was saying, you look at this and you're like, why has it not been like this before? It's so intuitive and such a smooth flow in the cockpit. I am over the top proud of the features that Garmin has put into their app Garmin Pilot to deliver smart charts into every one of our cockpits. It's amazing. There's a beautiful day to fly. I'm also over the top proud to have such an amazing company as Garmin supporting the content we produce here on Aviation 101. I'm proud to fly behind Garmin avionics, and I'm honored to have witnessed the Garmin Pilot team bring smart charts to life through years of dedication and perseverance. Our good friend Chris Palmer from Angle of Attack also posted a video on YouTube today about Garmin smart charts from his perspective. Notably, he touches on the history of approach plates and instrument charts, and he'll take you on a deep dive through the features of Garmin Pilot's revolutionary smart charts workflow. You can find Chris's amazing aviation content on his YouTube channel, Angle of Attack. If you're already a Garmin Pilot user, this update has already released, and it'll land in your app the next time you open it up. If you're interested in trying out Garmin Pilot, you can find the Garmin Pilot app in your mobile device's app store. In the next video, we'll be covering the long-awaited Week 3 build video on our Sling TSI. And we'll continue this California build series as planned. And after that series, we have some more content in 80991 coming out, including a long, hard IFR day flying from Western Kentucky all the way to San Marcos, Texas. All of that will be released right here on this channel. Be sure to give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of that upcoming content. Until then, you know the drill. I want you to stay happy and healthy, stay current in your flying, but most importantly, stay proficient. Go out and exercise your instrument privileges, take a safety pilot with you, and sharpen your instrument procedures with Garmin Smart Charts. Exclusively available in Garmin Pilot. We'll see you in the next video right here on Aviation 101. Fly safe.